South by Southwest under fire for immigration clause in their contracts. And this was all exposed by an artist that was set to perform at South by Southwest. The artist is Felix Walworth of the band Told Slant. According to PBS.org, quote, he first noticed the language in the agreement, posted a photo of the contract Thursday on Twitter saying he was canceling the band's performance at the festival. Later that day, more than 40 artists published an open letter saying they were outraged, especially in light of the recent attacks on immigrant communities. Now, the CEO, the head of South by Southwest, has responded. This is the CEO and co-founder Roland Swenson in a statement that he emailed to PBS NewsHour, and he said that the clauses had been in the contract for years. He goes on to say, quote, that the festival has never reported an international artist to immigration authorities, and that in so many words, it was meant to protect South by Southwest and the artists there that were performing. A number of entertainment and immigration lawyers have come forward saying that this is not typical of an entertainment contract, that this is not typical. They do things where they make sure that the artist has their visas and such as that, but this is extreme in their words. Let's first look at that clause and then I'll talk to you more about what some of the lawyers are saying. So in the clause it says, if South by Southwest determines in its sole discretion that artists or its representatives have acted in ways that, bullet point, adversely affect the viability of artists' official South by Southwest showcase, the following actions are available to South by Southwest. Artists will be removed from their official South by Southwest showcase and at South by Southwest sole option replaced. Any hotels booked via South by Southwest, housing will be canceled, artist credentials will be canceled. South by Southwest will notify the appropriate US immigration authorities of the above actions. Now, also according to PBS.org, the CEO said this, quote, he defended the clause in his statement as being a safeguard for South by Southwest in case a band or artist does something truly egregious, such as disobeying our rules about pyrotechnics on stage, starting a brawl in a club, or causing serious safety issues. Now, back to some of the lawyers. Anastasia Tonolo, she's a managing partner of the immigration firm Laura Devine Attorneys. She says, quote, it was normal for music organizations to require paid performers to have proper authorization, but even then to alert authorities would be above and beyond standard practice. So that's where the artists, knowing that they're familiar with contracts, they have entertainment attorneys, they're speaking forward. So we have 40 thus far. A number of these artists are now asking for the language to be changed and then they will come back on the bill. And according to the senior public relations manager, Elizabeth Durso of South by Southwest, she says that the festival will be reviewing and revising the language after 2017. So after this South by Southwest, then they're gonna review the language. And then I just wanna mention too, because the CEO, he made it very clear that South by Southwest has always been very open in being against the travel ban and speaking out against Donald Trump. They also said in their email that they had, prior to this controversy, they had an event at South by Southwest called the Contraband #Music Unites, which also showcases performers from the 7 nations affected by the ban. So they have their side too. So we have two sides to this story. Thoughts, 5 words or less?
South by Southwesterners only.
Revise that this year.
That contract is ostentatious.
Better change your tune, South by Southwest.
Good job.
And Austin is a sanctuary city. We should know that.
No.
So it is a sanctuary city, but okay.
Contracts, boilerplate contracts are the worst contracts in the history of the world. So yes, this is bad language to have. But this is the kind of stuff that if you ask anyone who's ever signed like a boilerplate contract, this is the kind of weird shit they put in it. That's like, if you violate anything, your job, we will fire you, sue you for all that you're worth and more. So I honestly believe that South by Southwest, which is an organization which you said has had anti-travel ban events, I don't think they did this necessarily on purpose. I think they just pulled from different contracts to do their boilerplate contract. The sad part is, for any aspiring band, artist, actor, host, writer, that when you're trying to get to a level where you can be in South by Southwest, you have zero pull. So you're just gonna sign that contract, and people have done it for years. The sad part is that they have said it's fine if you determine, not if we are determined by a court of law. If South by Southwest determines that we messed with our contract, then you can deport us and put us in immigration holding jail. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's at least, I think, the reason and the way in which it is fucked up. It's not terrible. I don't think South by Southwest is strictly anti-immigrant.
I don't think it was malicious. I think it was an oversight And I do agree with what Brett's saying. I think that it was likely just sort of almost like a collage of different contracts to put together the language in this contract that has then been signed. But the clauses existed in this contract for years, according to South by Southwest. So I think it's interesting that only now it's becoming at least a major issue, and I'm wondering if it's just because immigration is such a hot button topic,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
There's
maybe
no
there have
other
been
reason.
other
Exactly.
Without a doubt.
instances in the past. It would be interesting to see if things like that started coming out of the woodwork. If there are other
Well,
instances,
there was
where,
none. They said very specifically, even though there has been perhaps incidents between performers and South by
I mean like
Southwest.
incidences where someone has like looked at the contract and been like, this is kind of weird wording, but it's not really an issue right now.
Right.
Immigration is clearly not a main, like such a hot button topic in the United States, so I'll sign it anyway because I don't have any pull.
They tell you that like I've had my manager say, like or lawyer, contracts are divorce contracts, they're not marriage contracts. Like every contract is a divorce contract, which is the only thing, they bring it up when they're mad at you. Now most South by, and the reason that all that those negative consequences are in there is because South by Southwest wants to have every recourse possible in case they feel that their band has violated terms of the agreement. Now, that does suck that they're gonna say, we're gonna throw you to the immigration court, but that's basically saying, like, if you violate your contract, we wanna have every possible recourse at our disposal. From a negotiation standpoint, I understand how the bands would now say, oh my God, we didn't realize how fucked up that was that we signed.
Right, and it's extreme according to these. I'm not an entertainment lawyer, I'm not an immigration lawyer, but for all the immigration and entertainment lawyers that are coming forward, that this is an extreme version of that. And it's never been enforced. How long has South by Southwest been going on for?
I don't know, but long
10
enough
years
for
now?
the music portion of it not to be that important anymore.
Well, yeah,
Jason, what do you think?
I think you guys all.
And you're going to South by Southwest
I'll be
this year.
South
You're covering
for a
it.
week, all next week. So I think, Grace, you say a hot button item. For sure, that's why this is now an issue with the ban pulling out because of the immigration ban and the spotlight on immigration. Because if it has been in the contract for almost 10, 12 years and no one said anything about it publicly, then it's really not that big of an issue. And also, if
but it's good that the language is going to be changed.
yeah,
it should be
because
changed sooner.
and that's also a feather in the hat for South by Southwest because they have taken steps to be inclusive and to be anti.
They have.
And so we can't sit here and we can't be mad at South by Southwest. 100% because they are doing their due diligence to make sure this is rectified. And also for the bands that are coming to South by Southwest, just don't fuck up. Don't do anything that's gonna warrant. I mean, normal people don't do things that are egregious to be removed from a festival like South by Southwest.
And we've all done stuff in the entertainment industry, and there are entities that you are worried about and entities you're not worried about. In my experience, I've covered South by Southwest at least 3 times, because I've been there 3 times. I'm not worried about South by Southwest. There's other countries or other companies that you'll sign deals with and you'll be sure that that language isn't in there because you're sure they're gonna go like be litigious against you for that.
Yeah, okay. Well, good point, good discussion. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.